Good afternoon, fellow Biafrans. Depending on your location, my name is Betty Ford, your sister. I have come again today to interact with my people. Before I continue, I have to remind you, anyone that wishes to call and discuss with us, that the WhatsApp number is on this screen. Join me from wherever you are watching so that we will continue our evangelism, because Biafra is our religion. Join me from wherever you are watching. Join and make your own contribution. Before I continue, let me do the needful. Father, Lord, my God, I thank you today and will always do so, because, my Lord, you are worthy to be thanked and praised. I will always beg you on bended knees to please release our leader, because you can do it for us. Also protect our Prime Minister, who is standing on the gap now for us. Protect him and his family. Protect all Biafrans all over the world. It is Biafrans first. My people, may God protect all of us. Amen. Join me, my brothers and sisters, Biafrans all over the world. If you haven't gone to work, if today is your off day, if you are available, please join me. And as you are joining, share and subscribe if you have not subscribed to Betty Ford TV, so that this message will go viral and go to every one of us that would need to hear what we are going to say this morning. Before I continue, I have my jingle that I always play for us to listen to. Listen for.
Release our brother Nnamdi Kanu.
Listen for us. Otego, Hapuziania. The children need him. Please, we are begging people. And you know,
Release our brother Nnamdi Kanu.
you people that are in power, do something. Release him for us.
Release our brother Nnamdi Kanu.
We are begging. When you know, when you know, you see an argument, and you're afraid. We don't know. We don't know. Nobody is saying anything. We are busy living our lives. Come on. Yeah, going to fly in Anya.
Release our brother Nnamdi Kanu.
In as much as you don't believe in what he's fighting for, he's like a brother to you. I'm not one one go. You are one getting. You know, the chair makaya. We are all equals. I need Bundi. What I go? We are just on 1 year. We are just on 1 year. Mopulunda. We are just on 1 year.
Release our brother Nnamdi Kanu. Release our brother Nnamdi Kanu.
Please. My people, we have heard them, and I personally decided that this will always be my jingle, something to wake us up and remind us that our brother who is fighting for us is still being held. We need to see our brother being released. Today, I am going to discuss something that, we will all be pinning our mind on. Ife m ga-discuss taa bụ ife anyị niile ga na-etinye obi, na-etinye mmụọ anyị, weli ya na-agba mgba chela anyị n'iru, maka na ezigbo mgba chela anyị n'iru. Imago, so many of us, like yesterday, somebody nọ na-attack him and onye Igbo na YouTube somewhere, na-attack him, na-akọm ọnụ onye Igbo, that na mbụ emumu woman, ngwanụ mụ bịa ka m jee nweta di Biafra mụ na-achọ. Onye Igbo afia bụ Ikechukwu something. Now that goes to show that na many of us aghọtara ife na-abịa. Anyị aghọtara onya melu nji wee stumble into this video, wee sị na m ga-ewetie ka m play ya, because ọ na-adị mma ka mmadụ mara onye fụrụ ya n'anya, mara onye bụ ọyị ya, mara onye bụ onye ilie. If you know your enemy, another thing you have to know is how to avoid that enemy, or how to fight that enemy back if they start fighting you. Like etu ndị ugwu si fight anyị nwa. And ndị ugwu abụrụkwa the main Hausa owners of the land. No ndị bịala abịa si na anya mezu ike, maka na fa bịa wee conquer the whole Nigeria, wee fụzie na anyị nwa bụ ndị ekwere ofe ịkọnka, fa wee kpọzie anyị asị. So ọ dị mma, ọ bụrụgodu vidio ịnụgolo ife okwu before, ọ dị mma ka onye ọbụla kwụcha ntị ya, welu brain Chukwu nyere ya, wee na-eche echiche na ndị a bụ ndị afụrụ anyị n'anya. Ịbụrụgodu sabotu a, fagbusie ndị nke ị na-sabotage, gị nwa ga-abụ the next. So let nobody think that na their affiliation to ndị na-achị achị na onwe ife ga-ewepụfa mmụọ igbu gị as onye Igbo. Whether me na support fa or not, you are still the infidel. Can play this voice first. Join me, my people. Join me wherever you are watching from. Join me and let us deliberate on these issues together.
We Muslims are the owners of Nigeria. We can only prove this to the world when election take place and we give them a clean sweep. When the day break and we crash them out in major states, the rest is a walkover. For that reason, brethren, the matter of PVC is mandatory. PVC is compulsory. PVC is a must. Lack of PVC is helping the infidels to press down Islam in this situation. Somebody...
If you go, PVC not a must. So your PVC ain't any meaning. Because fact pogo infidel. Infidel bundi a believer on ife faneku. And oka nkefa bo you must. Buni ga join relifa. Whether me likely or not. Etu afasi egbu mmadụ kita. Maka ụfọdụ Biafra si na Nnamdi Kanu kosiri ife na-eme, ụfọdụ si na Ojukwu na kosiri ife na-eme. Another video m ga-play ga-egosi unu ife niile na-eme n'obodo a, etu o si wee bido.
You say there are 3 Muslim aspirants. Leave that one. We are coming to it. We will know what to do. We will not go into the election with 3 Muslim aspirants. Inshallah, we will know what to do. And where the need arise, we will show who you will follow. One person will be followed, the others will take heart. Not because the one we choose is better, but because it is a mandate for a Muslim to rule this nation. It is a must for a Muslim to rule this nation. No matter how the Muslim is, he is better than an infidel. We Muslims are the owners of Nigeria.
Unanuge. So, monye nasi no mazi Nnamdi Kanu mo no Ojukwu na kosi ife na-eme, onye anwa bụ ejoka. Onye anwa amara ife ọ na-ekwu, because ndị a fa batara na Nigeria wee survey bido gbube ndị mmadụ. Ndị Benue anụnwụ unu fụfa na-egbu bụ na fasi na ndị Benue waged war against them before 1966. Na ndị Benue waged war. Ndị nna nnafa kpatara na fa gbadataro maka na ndị a bịara na were ọgụ agha fight. They came, they started fighting, they started conquering land, grabbing land, na-egbu ndị mmadụ, onye ọbụla na-atụfe egwu. The only people that were not afraid of them are the Igbos. You see the whole agenda, very, very open agenda right now. What their forefathers could not do, they are using the military, they are using the police to do it. Nobody should blame Ojukwu or blame Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. No way. You can't blame any of these two men because this is a premeditated act. Una anugo ife mkpọrọ unu kita. Onye ugwu na-ekwu ife, onye Fulani, osi na ọfanwa tosi ichi Nigeria. So all the Igbos who think that they are sabotaging what we are doing, this Biafra agitation, they are wasting their time because of fa finish here with ndị unu na sabotage against Fabia for you people. Ma Lafia, I played his voice here. Unu no ifokwu na enwe phase 1 and phase 2. No fa busie ndị nka fa banye na ndị nke ọzọ. And everything is happening. Unu na afia is happening. So anybody hearing my voice this morning or listening to me will always be calculative of what is going on, how it emanated, how it has been carried out, and the stage we are in now.
Yet they say they want a referendum. If you believe.
This man, Afia Bufemi Fani Kayode, if I have an old video, but why I'm playing all these videos is just to form a reminding process. In fact, to remind us that it is always good to ask yourself, where did you start? Where are you heading to? And where are you right now? So this video or the audio, you must have heard it before, but when you listen to it, you have to retrospect. You have to think back. So this has been the plan all along. So both those who are saboteurs, who come to listen and accuse me or start abusing me, I really don't feel offended. I don't feel offended. What I feel is that the more you people abuse us, the stronger we get. That's all I feel. And it is your abuse that will make us remain strong.
That those that are in power in Nigeria today would ever contemplate the possibility of giving power to an Igbo man in 2023 or thereafter, then you still haven't fully understood the challenge and the problem that we have in this country today. Hello, my people. Please, what?
Have you heard that? He said that whoever think that they will allow an Igbo man to rule Nigeria in 2023, that the person, you know, that they haven't understood the challenge on ground. Yeah, onye na-eche na a ga-enye ndị Igbo Kedafia presidency na 2023. Ọkwa Buhari gwara unu na ya ga-enye Umahi ka ọ run as a president na 2023. Onyelie ya. Even when one man a na-akpọ Bode George, onye ofe mmanụ, sịrị nwanne fa nwoke ya zuo ike so that ka onye Igbo chịkwanụ Nigeria na ndị Igbo achinụrụ Nigeria as an elected person. Ogere ọdịdị man ntị ya na ndị otu ife work sigo everything out, and onye ndu anyị kwulie si no nwoke no nya ga-abụ the next president, because onye ndu anyị be prophet. Listen to this.
Problem that we have in this country today. You need to understand that the mindset of some of these people, not all, some, but those that Buhari represents, that is his own clique within the Fulani ruling class, not all Fulanis, but his own clique, who are in power today. Their mindset is that the most dangerous people in this country and the people that they must suppress more than any other are the people of the Southeast. And you need to understand.
Unanuge, now the mindset of Buhari and his clique, which are the Fulanis, is that Igbo man is the most dangerous people in that country.
And that before the Civil War, and I need to go back in history because that's a damn good question and it deserves a clear answer, a thorough answer. Let's go back a little bit. Before the Civil War, these same people, he, for example, was active then. And you need to remember the role that they played on the night of July 29th, 1966, when the Northern Officers counter coup took place. And 300 Igbo officers were killed in one night, including an Igbo head of state. He was in...
Onafuge, 300 Igbo officers were killed. So, onwere ogo ji bụrụ na Ojukwu ma Nnamdi Kanu na kosi ife na-eme na Igbo kita. O tego ndị a kpọrọ ndị Igbo asị. Igbo bụ their major problem na that country. Maka na ndị a bụ ndị bịara abịa nwelu nnukwu anya. People that came to your country from a different country altogether. We don't even know where they came from. Some say Futajalon, some say Mali, some say Burkina. I don't know where they came from. But they came and they want to intimidate you in your own land. They have no tribe in Nigeria. They used to answer Hausa Fulani. Now they are Fulanis because they felt that they have settled. They are now in control. Military, Air Force, everything is under their control. So they can well use it or against anyone that they don't like. And their concentration now is on the Igbos. So the Igbo man named him attack yesterday. Or say, to Ojukwu, nka wazuru ike, nka ọzọ Nnamdi Kanu, ngwanu anyị bịa nwete ya bụ Biafra ka afọ, ọkwa onye Igbo attacking me. Money ana bo na edelu onwe ya, odelu m deli ya. But at the same time, I told him that no matter what you do, your name is Ikechukwu. Maybe no brother onye Igbo self will have onye Igbo denye there. That's what I told him. Maka picture adro there. Msia, tinye go do your picture if you are a bold man or a bold Igbo man to challenge what Igbos are doing. Igbos are not doing anything but to defend in their own country, in their own indigenous land. Because na nya chọrọ anyị ekwero ka eme anyị intimidate. Unu lota ife nkwu yesterday, our ancestors oge a na-ebufa ka ebuga America so that they will become slaves. Ije lụọ ọrụ na plantation, ụfọdụ fafa na hangifa n'enu osisi. Ndị nke a wee sị na kama fa ga-abụ slave ka fa wunye n'ime mmiri. All of them got themselves drowned. If I want to a remarkable history. So na nye bi Igbo anya da bụ slave anybody. Ndị ugwu ekwetago ịbụ slave ndị Fulani. Onwe nụrụ onye Hausa, real natural Hausa person chigo Nigeria. Ọ ndị abịala abịa na awa anya. Fachali iwele anya onye ọzọ tụkwasị na nkefa. It will not happen. That's why Chukwu ji wee dobela onye dịka Maazị Simon Ekpa. Anybody na attack Simon Ekpa, Chukwu na ga ebunye onye anwụ ibu ọma ebuninwu. because God knows what he is doing. Let us keep listening to this man.
And many of them that are running this country now about today were involved or supported it. They said it was to pay back for what had happened in January 15th, 1966.
If you go
After that,
no pay back, unune pay back or military Biafra military ndị Igbo kafabusi gbuo how many hundreds. Ojukwu na ndị otu eji wee si na fama anọkwa ndụ ife dị etu a na-eme. This is it. Ọ dị ka ife Simon na-eme kịta, our prime minister. Ọnọdụ na-agbachitere anyị, ụfọdụ a na-eme attack maka na ndị egobili egobi. Ọkwa ifo ndị Fulani a mmanụ abụrụ nkefa, so ego niile fa letere ya fa ga-eyuzie wee achieve ife fa chọrọ, but they will not. Fa dị willing inye gị how many billions. Unu mala ego nefa na-ekwe onye ndu anyị ka ọ rapụ Biafra. Onye ndu ajụ, that's why ọka ji wee nọdụ de ka enyi ego ka ọ rapụ Biafra ka fa wee bịa infiltrate ebe anyị jee kpọbatazie ndị befa niile from wherever they are to come and overtake our land and overrun us. Onye ọbụla akpọbazie isi anyị maka ife dị fa mkpa.
what happened? The same people unleashed their people on Igbo civilians in the northern part of this country, and the figure that is often cited is 30,000 were killed. It's not true. Closer to 100,000. Not only were they killed, people, women had their stomachs cut open, and little babies were pulled out and their heads were dashed against the wall. That is what they did then in 1966, before the Civil War. And the Igbos were slaughtered like flies all over the north by these same people. They went rushing back to the east, where they believed they were safe. And the position was this. The leader of the core northern Muslims within the army, Murtala Muhammad, urged Gawan, who was head of state, to march on the east immediately and wipe out the Igbos. Gawan, to his credit,
Unanuge, he said that Murtala Muhammad urged Gowon to march down to the east and wipe out the Igbos. And Gowon said no. You people know that Gowon is not a Fulani man. Gowon is just a military man from Panchin. That's where he came from, in Plateau State. And he is a Christian. Ono man oge Gowon onachi. Gowon the only 30, maybe 36 or 34, thereabout. And fe kwugo na onye niile na alụlụ fọlụ na kama ọ ga-abụ onye Igbo fe weta onye ọzọ from another state na Nigeria ka ọ lụbalụ fọlụ, and na onye anwa ga na-eme ife fakwu onye kwuli fafu ba Ahmadu Bello. Oge onye ọcha na-eme interview, I have shown it here. I cannot keep showing it all the time, but I can remind you, onye watch that video will attest to what I'm saying now. So India fawetinye Yakubu Gowon, and Fanwa Yakubu Gowon accepted everything said at the conference in Ghana when they went to Aburi peace talk. Onata fajiamba ni wubu na aga achụba ndị a ka egbuo fa. Mmadụ dịka this Murtala Muhammad fa wee bido ọgụ against ndị Igbo. Asikwa na anụsi ọgụ Murtala Muhammad na urge Gowon to march down the Igbo land and wipe out the Igbos. Gunu wefu. So we have to always visit history so that we will know where we are going to.
refused to do that and said, no, let's negotiate. And the negotiation started.
Let me play it back. Wow, what have I done? Sorry, my people. You know, all these gadgets, when they get tired.
1,000 were killed. It's not true. Closer to 100,000. Not only were they killed, people, women had their stomachs cut open, and little babies were pulled out and their heads were dashed against the wall. That is what they did then in 1966, before the Civil War. And the Igbos were slaughtered like flies all over the north by these same people. They went rushing back to the east, where they believed they were safe. And the position was this. The leader of the core northern Muslims within the army, Murtala Muhammad, urged Gawan, who was head of state, to march on the east immediately and wipe out the Igbos. Gawan, to his credit, refused to do that and said, no, let's negotiate. And the negotiations started. They broke down, then there was a civil war.
So what I will also want us to understand from this saying is that whether a Fulani man is a military man or a civilian head of state, they don't like us. So you can imagine, as a military man, he urged Gowon, that's Murtala Muhammad, to march down to the east and wipe out the Igbos. As a military man, that's his opinion. The same thing that Buhari did when he left the military and became a civilian leader when he came in year 2015.
In that civil war, 3 million Igbos were killed by federal forces. They were killed by all of us. I'm from the Southwest. I take responsibility for that, as every other Nigerian ought to. Civilians, not soldiers. 3 million, including 1 million children.
You know, us in Abo from Southwest, so that they will all take blame, because Obasanjo bụ a military man. Also, ndị Fulani wee nọ nso ndị Biafra ọgụ. So, na ndị befa, Ejo, Fajui, all of them, so wee nụso anyị ọgụ.
Subjected to mass murder, subjected to ethnic cleansing by us. The war ended. We did not apologize. Instead, what did we do? What did we do? We took all their property in the name of abandoned property. We gave them £20, even if they had $1 million in the bank. And we said, come back, no victor, no vanquish. Biggest lie from the pit of hell. It flies all over the north.
They took our properties as abandoned property, but now they are no longer taking our properties. They are pulling the properties down. So, ego nu ji wee go ani, na ego nu ji luo uno, all gone. All gone. So the Igbos who are attacking other Igbos for seeking and looking for Biafra, have you people heard it? Because those of you who are listening to me, whether you are saboteur or you are for Biafra, we have to revisit history to know that whether you are sabotaging your brothers and sisters, as long as you are an Igbo man, you are not wanted, because they want to wipe us out. That's what Murtala Muhammad told Gowon.
They went rushing back to the east, where they believed they were safe. And the position was this. The leader of the core northern Muslims within the army, Murtala Muhammad, urged Gawan, who was head of state, to march on the east immediately and wipe out the Igbos. Gawan, to his credit, refused to do that and said, no, let's negotiate. And the negotiations started. They broke down, then there was a civil war. In that civil war, 3 million Igbos were killed by federal forces. They were killed by all of us. I'm from the Southwest. I take responsibility for that, as every other Nigerian ought to. Civilians, not soldiers. 3 million, including 1 million children, subjected to genocide, subjected to mass murder, subjected to ethnic cleansing by us. The war ended. We did not apologize. Instead, what did we do? What did we do? We took all their property in the name of abandoned property. We gave them £20, even if they had £1 million in the bank. And we said, come back, no victor, no vanquished. Biggest lie from the pit of hell. There was a victor and there was a vanquished. And we all know who was who. They came back into Nigeria and we reintegrated them. But even with all the reintegration, no Igbo man could be trusted to be General Officer Commanding GOC until Obasanjo came to power in 1999. Igbos were not allowed to rise up within the military or in any power configuration in the country. It was
that after the war, they said no victor, no vanquished, which means no one defeated each other. But he is saying that they know who is claiming defeat. You know, they know who claimed that they defeated the other one. And he never mentioned who. But we all know who is claiming that defeat or that victory. They gave us £20 and made it a point that an Igbo man can never rule Nigeria. Let me keep playing him.
It was something that was understood that you never put an Igbo man in a position of real power. You can give him appointments, but you don't put him in a position of real power. Okay.
You can't put him in a position of willpower. That is to show you people that when Atiku and our brother Mr. Peter Obi came out in 1999, am I correct? 2019, to fight for presidential election. They won, but they took that away from them. They won that election. They took it away from them and gave it to Buhari the second time. Why? Because Atiku took an Igbo man as his vice. Currently, all of you knew how it went in February. Everything that happened. We can't keep going through it. But now you have seen why they did not allow Mr. Obi to claim his mandate, because he won.
Came, made General Abiaku, I think his name was, GOC. And then from there, Jonathan came, he appointed Adibo Chief of Army Staff.
Ihejirika.
Yes. My wife is reminding me of the name, Ihejirika.
Maka nwunye bụ onye Igbo. His wife is an Igbo woman.
An Igbo Chief of Army Staff. Okay.
Ihejirika.
And we thought things would go on that way. There would be a reintegration of the Igbos. And Obasanjo integrated many Igbos. People like Ezekezi and Yuba, so many came in and playing key roles, key positions. We thought things would get better. And unfortunately for us, though, in 2015, everything changed. Because Nigerians elected, in quotation marks, a man that had, again, I say it again, a different worldview, and went back to the pre-1966 disposition and mentality of things. And that position was that Igbos cannot be trusted. Igbos have no rights. Igbos are members of the, he called them 5%, I believe, that didn't vote for him. And his
Igbos cannot be trusted. No exclusion. Igbos cannot be trusted. You heard it here. You know what that means? Whether you are Sabutua, whether you are fighting for the Fulanese, whether you are nursing them, you are now breastfeeding their children for them as an Igbo man. Igbos are not trusted by the Fulanese. So whatever your position is, remember this. They can never trust you. What they will do is to use you and dump you. Igbo cannot be trusted. Ask me, where is Ojus Okalu today? Mazi Nnamdi Kanu told them, go and serve the Fulani and come back in tears. We all saw when Ojuzo Kalu was crying in the House of Senate. Crying, weeping. He has been used and dumped. Okorocha used and dumped. You saw how they went through his roof. Military people, EFCC, went through his roof, house roof in Abuja to enter. And that showed him that as an Igbo man, you are not trusted. This Law Panther today, when Oti went there sometimes this year or last month or 2 months ago, unuma ozu mmadụ n'afụrụ there. Ọ ji ụzọ Kalu nyere fada please. Kedu ebe fanye ndị Igbo n'ugwu Hausa? Anywhere onye Igbo bi, onye Igbo ga-azụ ya azụ. Unu nụrụ hia mgbe oge Shetima na Kunle na-ekwu okwu, that voice message. Ọ sị na fa ga-deal with us. Na land tax, onye Yoruba kwụọ 5 pounds, fanwa kwụọ 5,000, fanwa kwụọ 10, then onye Igbo kwụọ 1 million. No matter what you do as an Igbo man, whether you are sabotaging this Biafra agitation, which must come, they will not spare you. Igbo man cannot be trusted. This is what he is saying. So, for those of them who are still being used, maka na-ebunye gị 100 million, ị na-afọju akpa. A na-ebunye gị, ị na-go watch $1 million. Na-eme ife niile. Fa gbusie ndị ọzọ, gị nwa bụ next.
Mindset was he will teach Igbos the lesson of their lives. And he has done precisely that. If the killings had stopped then, I would have said, okay, fine. Everything we said is history. But sadly, it didn't stop. Igbo youths, IPOB youths, Igbo nationalists have been killed under this government. More have been killed than at any other time during this, apart from during the Civil War.
Onanuge. Onye abụkwa onye ofe mmanụ, onye Yoruba. He's a Yoruba man. Speaking based on his own observation and based on what happened. Not something, he's not just suggesting it. He is talking about history, what has happened and what is still happening. So I'm talking to the heart of those Igbos who are sabotaging what we are doing. This Biafra agitation, those of you sabotaging it, it is still early for you to retrospect and turn back from, make 100 degrees or 60 degrees U-turn. Maka na fa gbusie ndị nke anyị na sabotage. Genwa bụ next. Because fa believe na even if one Igbo man remains, na ọ ga-ebidokwa mụmụ mụtabakwa another Igbo that will come and disturb them. But you know what? Farmers succeed.
Under this government, Igbos have been hopelessly marginalized by the government. Igbos have been treated with contempt by this government. Not just Igbos, Southerners, Christians, and Middle Belters. They've added that one as well. And that's what's going on. And what the Igbos was subjected to by all of us in 1966 is what we are all being subjected to now by those that are around Buhari.
Ifuge, also that what the Igbos were subjected to in 1966 is what all of us, including himself, and the Southwest and the Middle Belt Christians, that is what we are all being subjected to now. Because when a man is crying, you will know that what made a man cry, 10 women will cry for it. We are one. Do not allow yourself to be swayed into doing what you will regret tomorrow or what you will cry for. Time now is still early for a change of heart, tụgharịa your mind. Gị bụ onye Igbo a na-use as a governor of 5 states. Unu na-dance to the tune of ndị afụrụ unu n'anya. One thing m ga-agwakwa ndị be anyị bụ na ọkwa unu fụ ndị governors a na-egirigharị everywhere. Ọfịọ echi fa zutesigo ego fa ga-eji wee fly ya away. That is ọ bụrụ na a ga-ekwekwa fa fly ya o. Maka this rain, mmiri a na-eji, ọ ga-rain really on every roof. Onwero ka mmiri zo, ka anybody say, oh, mmiri ama my roof. Ọ ga-ezo everywhere. Etu a ka onye ndu si na-agwa anyị some time ago, these people are coming, these people are coming. Onwere onye gele onye ndu ntị. Rather, for you zuzie ndị Igbo na-egbuzi onwe anyị. Mana mata na-eyuzusie gị wee gbuo ndị ụmụnne gị, you will be the next. As long as farmer na Igbo onye Igbo, a core Igbo man. Kita una ada anụzi onu Ọji Ụzọ Kalụ, una ada anụzi onu Okorocha. Very soon una ama anụzi onu Hope Uzodimma or Soludo. Una kana anụ onu Dave Umahi. Mba. Anyị ada anụzi onu ye nnụrụ kịta bụ one woman na-eme accused na o ji 200 million. The woman na-ebe akwa that ndị father priest should help her. But the truth is that na fa use Usiegi, you will be dumped.
Now, going to your question, given all that, before I come to that, let me just add this. IPOB says they want to have a referendum. They want the right to self-determine. And you label them as terrorists when none of them has ever carried a gun, as far as I'm aware. I was in prison with Nnamdi Kanu.
Una nuge, Osiniano na prison with Nnamdi Kanu, and that he knew that IPOB were asking for a referendum, and that they never carried any arms but flags. Yet they were labeled as terrorists, and the Nomandifa use we made that thing. Governor Mahi in Abakaliki, Governor Mahi, he was the one himself. Governor Wike, Governor Ugwani, and Governor Anambra then, Willie Obiano, all of them, Bondi Fulani Yuzu, we pronounce Omuwanefa as terrorists. Whereas, Nandi Boko Haram, Bumunne Nkefa, Ndi Fulani, no Nugwa Hausa, na cause mayhem. Kita, Ndi Boko Haram was in Northeast niile, and now kufa tax. Fama ne rule Bangwa, and nobody is disturbing them. But Biafra, IPOB cannot do anything. We are not allowed to exist.
In extensive discussions with him, I got to know him. I understood his mindset, and I could feel his pain for his people.
Let me take it a little back. Wow.
Can I get out this military address? If the character.
Yeah, it is always like this. When it works for a long time, any little touch.
We added that one as well. And that's what's going on. And what the Igbos was subjected to by all of us in 1966 is what we are all being subjected to now by those that are around Buhari. Now, going to your question, given all that, before I come to that, let me just add this. IPOB says they want to have a referendum. They want the right to self-determine. And you label them as terrorists when none of them has ever carried a gun, as far as I'm aware. I was in prison with Nnamdi Kanu. I had extensive discussions with him. I got to know him. I understood his mindset, and I could feel his pain for his people. Yet they say they want to have a referendum. You say they're terrorists. Meanwhile, those that are butchering our people every day in the name of ethnic domination and hegemony, in the name of furthering the ambitions and the aspirations of Usman Dan Fodio and Salmadu Bello and Buhari himself, the three Mahdis, you don't call them terrorists. You pat them on the back, you refuse to arrest any of them. And you say what they're doing is okay. You encourage them. Okay? And the same you, free Boko Haram terrorists, the same you once said that you want to apply Sharia all over the country. The same you said Muslims should only vote for Muslims. The same you says an attack on Boko Haram is an attack on the North. The same you has said so many things which implicitly are on line and on all fours with the Boko Haram philosophy. These are the people that have been ruling us for 5 years. And the same you has empowered the Fulani to a point that they have everything now. And you really believe that those people in 2023 will sit down and say that they will allow a situation to arise whereby the one they hate the most, can possibly take power in this country? They will not allow that to happen. Now, if you...
The one they hate the most will not be allowed to take power in this country. You know the one they hate the most? The Igbos. The one they hate the most. Igbos, at least, are indigenous people in that contraption. The one they hate the most. The Igbos. Manandi abondi bialabia. Chozia kafa welanya fatukwasi n'enu anya nke anyị. Nna, ndị Igbo si na ebe nwoke nọ na nwoke ibie nọkwa ya. Ọkwa ifuru Igbo. Ife ga-eme ka ndina ya Igbo n'enu ụwa kama Chukwu welu ndụ m. Enwero m ike deny na mbụ onye Igbo. I am very, very proud of being an Igbo woman. Yes. Igbo first. IGBO. Igbo goes first. I go before others. IGBO. I go before others. Femwerikie. No one ka. Anybody na sabotage Biafra ọ ga-afụ ife ya na Chukwu ga-eme. Chukwu okike. Ifuga etu Chukwu si wee fụ ụmụ Israel wee je kpọta Moses ya na Aaron wee si jee dupụtenu ụmụ m n'Egypt. Etu a ka Chukwu si wee wepụta onye ndu. And the second man Moses afọ bụ onye ndu bụ Moses. Second man ya bụ this our prime minister. Onye niile na-achị sabotage ife anyị na-eme, ma onye sabotage ife our prime minister na-eme, onye anwa na-eti aka na tipa bu aja. Ndị a far the very, very intentional, far the very determined iwipe anyị niile out. So onye Igbo ọbụla na-eme na a na-sabotage na a na-ebunye millions ọ na-eli na ya na-akpata ego, ị na-alụ hotel, ịlụọ na Abakaliki, ịlụọ na Enugu, ịlụọ na Abia State, no matter if ịlụ, faga kulisie, fa chọrọ ije butesi ndị befa niile, maka ndị a bụ ndị na-agagharị fe nwere settlement. So fa batazia na Nigeria bịa gbasa arụ chọọ ịnọ comfortably more than ndị nwanyị. Ọ na-eme eme. It doesn't happen. That's why God planted Mr. Simon when our great leader Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was asking for 100 men. Our prime minister said, my leader, you are looking for 100 men. I will give you myself as 50 men. Go and look for 50. And he has never deviated Simon is very serious about Biafra. Don't joke about it. He has never stopped. And from the look of things, he will never stop. Kita, Nigeria government, na-ekwuzi maka ya na House of Assembly. Ọ na-ewutekwa m na fa na-ekwu maka ya because achọrọ m ka ndị ụwa jụọ sị onye a na-ekwu maka ya, what does he do? He is simply asking for the freedom of his own people. That's the offense. Ọgwụsị offense Maazị Nnamdi Kanu and Simon right now. Because ndị nke ọzọ nọ underground. Let them remain there. Onye mani achọrọ isonye n'ife a na-eme, onye anwa nọdụ nwayọ. Maka onye ndu ekwughị esi, ọ bụ na ife ị na-eme as a freedom fighter that no one is chasing after you, then you are not a true freedom fighter, or that what you are doing is not effective. I continue.
Ask me what I think. I think that would be the way forward as an individual. That if you really want to appease the Southeast, indeed the people of the South, why on earth not? Why shouldn't we have that? But the reality is that those that control the levers of power are diametrically opposed to that philosophy. They don't pretend not to be. They will never deny it. And they're not even hiding it. So they won't allow that to happen. What they will tell you at the very best is possibly we'll give vice presidency to the Southeast. And in a situation like that, if they did that, and the northern president came to power, and something happened to him, I assure you they will never let an Igbo man take power. It's their mindset. Even the one that's there now, the Yoruba man that's there, VP. If anything happens to Buhari, I doubt very much they'll let him take power.
So the time he was making this interview or giving this speech was during the time of Buhari, around the 2015, long time ago. And the man he's talking about is Osibanjo, that if anything happens to Buhari, that he is afraid that they will not allow him to be the president. But they would have. But I will tell you, technically, they did not. When Buhari died in year 2017, they cloned a man from Niger as Buhari and continued ruling. So for those saboteurs, you will see and know that no one alo against ụmụnne gị bụ ọlụ efu. Na onye gburu nwanne ya bụrụkwa odogwu ọ maka ife dị etu a.
Power must remain in the north, in perpetuity for as long as possible. And they have rationalized it over and over again. So that's the situation that we're in. But left to me, two things. The first thing is this. That would go a long way to heal the wounds of the past. An apology for what we did to the Southeasterners and to the Igbos during the Civil War. Secondly, proper compensation and reparations for what we did to them. Thirdly, to now openly come forward and say, let an Igbo man be president of Nigeria. Because they've never had an elected Igbo, we've never had an Igbo man leading us with power. Let it happen. That is what I want to do.
Oh no, ma'am, if on a kukita, they try to rationalize everything that they are doing. If any nefa ne mendibo, fa kowalo gi the reason why fa jemi, so that kafa justify their grounds. Manandi befa no kita na kutusi uno ndi bani, uno ma why no de kuzi okukita. Maka na ego ni noli, na ndi EFCC na achia. So, onwegodi ife na-eme ome ekwuzi, and maka ụdị okwu okwusi fa wee na-achọgharịa. Ndị Fulani achọrọ ka ikwuo okwu, fa chọrọ ka imegharị arụ na your own country. Nya bụ nwoke bụ onye Oduduwa. Ndị Oduduwa bụ indigenous people of Nigeria. Ndị Igbo bụ indigenous people. But ndị na-eme anyị ife a bụ ndị bịara abịa. If ndị na-agwakwa n'okwu a today bụ ndị saboteurs based on attack this man unyem yesterday. Though as I said, ogbasarom, onye ọbụla nwere ike ụmụ oriental si na okwu na ị ga-ekwu ihe masịrị ya and omeni ga-emekwa n'ihe bụ uche ya. Ọ gbasara m ife solo eni saboteur ya kwube, but every saboteur should know that as long as gị bụ onye Igbo na asabotage ụmụnne gị, fa finish with ndị nke ị na-asabotage, they will come after you. Maka fa chọrọzi anything ga-adị fa ka onye Igbo n'anya. Fa chọrọ, but God won't let it happen that way.
That's the first one. The other one is this. If it is, you know you can't do that. And if it is that the time for that has passed, because many Igbos will tell you, particularly those that share the philosophy of people like Nnamdi Kanu and even MASSACRE philosophy, they will tell you they're not interested in that anymore. Then the other thing you can do is say, allow them to determine their own future, just as the people of Scotland were allowed to.
Yes, what he is saying is that they should allow something like a confederation or what they call negotiation to take place so that we will be appeased. But unu chete na onwe one jingle our prime minister used to play when he was doing this, what we are doing now. The man is a pastor called Pastor Iginla. He said, dialogue now that he's seen a little puppy, and that little puppy changed into a very big lion, and other lions surrounded him, other animals surrounded him, that a time is coming when they will no longer be ready to dialogue. That is a Rubicon we have crossed. No more dialogue. Aicho Biafra. Faje bulu Nigeria, chibo onwe fa, but leave us alone. Farapu anyị, onwere ụdị ajọ afa ndị ada akpọ anyị. Rapụkwanụ na ika naba mba. So ifefa chọ bụ igbusisi anyị niile. Kafa wee, that is onye bịala abịa ife aja gbakamisi bụ na ọ bụ nọ ndị Hausa bụ indigenous people like us na-eme ife a. Anya si okay, maybe no boundary ma gịnị ka anyị na fa n'azụ. But ndị a bụ ndị bịala abịa. Ndị enwero any tribe n'obodo anyị. Anya fa wee dị so sharp. Na fa anya fa chọrọ cover anya everybody. If for an intellectual like this, onye abe lawyer ogo na fe create something, EFCC, before all SSS, DSS, nkabo EFCC, fe create ifefaji a silence other Nigerians. Look at an intellectual like this. Fa silence igi ode kuzi okwu. Ife akafa chọrọ ime all of us. And onye ndu saw, he foresaw this coming. But nobody listened to onye ndu. Ndị ba ka emutakwa nunu inwe obi nwanne a na-ekwu ife, all of us will agree. We will agree. Obulugodo no onye a na-asị gị bịa, let us go and fight to get this. Ni like ya, but try and think of that ideology. How it will benefit you, your children. Me this and the war. Because obu no Ojukwu no ndo kita wefu na Biafra biago, obi gadi ama wherever he is. And our ancestors. Ndi fight nna ndị a.
Determine theirs. Just as Britain, the United Kingdom, was allowed to determine hers when it came to Brexit. Just as so many other countries in the world, through a referendum and exercising the right of self-determination. And I think that would make far more sense than to say just give them an Igbo presidency, which you and I know is not likely to happen. Let me end with this, okay? We are approaching 2023. Some in the Southwest, specifically Bola Tinubu, believes that his party will field him. I will tell you this today. He has made the biggest mistake of his life. They will not support him. Their position is to keep the presidency in the North. And even if he manages to clinch the nomination for the APC, they will now shift their support to another party that will field a Northern candidate. Mark what I'm telling you today, because I've been right 9 times out of 10 when it comes to these predictions. I've been right. And I'm telling you, I'll be proved right again. That is the mess that we're in this country. So your aspirations are legitimate. You have every right to have an Igbo president. It will be a good thing for this country, for the people of the East, and indeed for the people of Africa. But those that believe they own Nigeria will not allow it, they will not accept it, and they will not create a level playing field for it. And that's the reality. If you believe that those that are in power in Nigeria today would ever contemplate the possibility of giving power to an Igbo man in 2023 or thereafter, then you still haven't fully understood the challenge and the problem that we have in this country today.
That is it. That's the end of his speech, and I think myself I will end it here. Maybe in the evening, because I can see that many people are at work. This time is to 11 here in the UK, and I know it will be to 12 in our hometown, Biafra homeland. When I come in the evening, I will still play this video. It will sound like a jingle to all of us, a reminder of what challenges we have ahead of us. And that will make you to come close and listen to our Prime Minister, because Onyendu, every prophecy that Onyendu gave have all come and gone, except Biafra coming. When he said to you, go and listen to Simon Ekpa, he is bringing a new dimension to the awareness we are making. Share his videos so that it goes viral. This is it. I will leave you here. I will love you, Biafrans. I will love you, my Igbo people. God bless you all. I'm signing out. All hail Biafra. Remember, Biafra government in exile, peace, unity, equity, and progress.